Hi kids, it's Mrs. Roberts. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm here with another story for you this month. And this one is a very special story because it's about a very special topic. And the topic that I have for you today is the word Alzheimer's. And Alzheimer's is something, kids, that happens when people start to forget. And I don't mean forget where their keys are or forget where they put their homework. Not that kind of forget. They really start to forget. They start to forget names and faces and memories, things like that. Long-term memories, or maybe what they had the last couple of days for dinner. And so I know some people that have Alzheimer's, especially older people get Alzheimer's. So I wrote a little story and I want to dedicate it to those people I know that sometimes forget as they're getting older with Alzheimer's. Okay? So this story, and one other thing, I want to thank all those kids that sent me notes, and I'm so happy you're enjoying the stories. I want to thank some of the kids in my own school that always encourage me, when's your next video? So thanks, kids. As long as you like the videos, I'll keep writing stories. All right, here's our story for today, guys. It's called Grandpa Who? Grandpa You. Here we go. And of course, kids, it's by Mrs. Roberts. Grandpa Who? Grandpa You. Here we go. Eva was only 2 when she started calling him Grandpa You. Her grandpa was a fun-loving man that sometimes forgot. She would run into the house for a visit and she'd yell, "Grandpa!" He would quietly look up, smile, and then say, "Grandpa who?" "Grandpa you!" she would squeal. Slowly, his smile would get wider and his eyes would sparkle. So here's our picture. This is little Eva. And here is Grandpa You, drinking his coffee. Eva loved to take Grandpa You's hand and walk around the yard. Eventually, she would lead him to a swing set for a push on the swing. When it was time to go home, Eva would say, "Love you, Grandpa." And he would look confused and say, "Grandpa who?" "Grandpa you," she'd reply. To her, it was all fun and games. When Eva was 4, the family went on a trip to New York City. While riding along in the car, Grandpa You whispered to Eva, "Where are we going?" "We're going to the big city to watch a race," Eva said. "Who are we going to watch?" Grandpa You asked. "Don't you remember?" Eva whispered back. "We're going to watch Uncle Kenny run." "Oh, that's right," Grandpa You said, with a smile and a sparkle in his eyes. And here they are, kids. They're in the car, and they're headed to New York City to watch a big race. And little Eva's Uncle Kenny is going to be running in that race. But Grandpa, you forgot what they were doing. That was a strange day for Eva, and it was a scary one too. Eva was holding Grandpa Yu's hand when the runners came by. She dropped his hand to point out Uncle Kenny in the race. And when she turned back, Grandpa Yu was missing. Mama! Mama! Where is Grandpa Yu? Little Eva called out. No one had noticed that he had wandered away. Everyone on the sidewalk began to search for Grandpa Yu. Even a policeman. So here's little Eva. She dropped her grandpa's hand so that she could point out Kenny. And can you see? No one noticed that Grandpa Yu had wandered away. Eva cried, and she squeezed her mama's hand. We'll find your Grandpa Yu, her mama said softly. But she was crying too. Here they are in the big city, and Grandpa Yu is missing. And don't forget, kids, when people get older like that, sometimes they forget where they're going too. And this is someone, probably Kenny, saying, where could he be? After an hour of looking up and down the streets, Eva heard a cheer from her family. Here came Grandpa Yu. This time, he was holding Uncle Kenny's hand. You found him! You found him! She screamed. The family laughed and cried with relief. Even Uncle Kenny cried. Thank goodness your grandpa was waiting for me at the finish line. He wanted to know where all the runners were going, Uncle Kenny said to Eva. And here's Grandpa Yu and Kenny bringing him back to the family. And here is little Eva and her mom. They had no idea where he had gone. He's just started following the runners. Grandpa, Grandpa, Eva said as she hugged him. Grandpa looked confused. Grandpa who? Why all this fuss? I was only gone a minute. Grandpa you were gone an hour, she scolded. Finally, Grandpa Yu smiled, and that twinkle came back into his eyes. He gave little Eva a gigantic hug and took her hand. And here they are, kids. He's given her a big hug because he finally recognizes who she is. He had forgotten just for a minute. But once he got that twinkle in his eye, his memory started to come back a little. You can see even the policeman's happy that they got back together. From that day on, Eva held Grandpa Yu's hand whenever she was visiting, and she didn't let go. And here they are, back in the yard, back at the swing set. and she's decided she's not going to let him get lost again. The end. All right, kids, I loved writing this story because it's so special to me to know people who sometimes forget, but we do have to watch out for them, don't we? All right, kids, have a great day, and I will be reading to you soon. Bye-bye.